Oh.
You put on. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
So do I look at the camera or do I look at Darf?
When you're talking to the camera, you look at the camera. When
Yeah.
you talk to him, you look.
This guy's so fucking...
I actually disagree. Just talk to me.
This guy's so...
Just
I am a professional, occasional interviewer. Just look
He
at
does
me.
the IEM.
We're having a conversation. It's a video. You can do an introduction where you're like, "Hey,
Introduction.
I'm Jeff Mnmzzz, blah blah blah. I'm here with DarfMike. We're gonna talk about IEM."
That's nice.
And then you look at me.
And I look at Darf. And then we have a conversation. Like we're
that's
just...
it.
Like we're good, like we're pals.
Like we're pals.
Yeah.
Almost as if.
I'm back with Dusty's ongoing coverage of IEM Cologne 2023, and I'm here with one of North America's prodigal sons, DarfMike. How are you doing, DarfMike?
I'm doing good, man. It's the end of day 2. I'm tired, but damn, it was an amazing day. Incredible day in the arena. I mean, this is really just... They weren't lying when they said Lanxess is incredible, man. It's being in there, being part of it, channeling the crowd's energy. It's a dream come true. So I'm doing great, man.
So look at you. You've just made it, right?
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. We've made it. So, I remember back when DarfMike was the young kid with stars in his eyes at Tokyo and Tulsa. How does it feel to have come so far in your career as a caster? I mean, pardon me, as a caster, as a host, the whole shebang-a-bang.
I had a moment today at the start of match 2 when they were playing the, farewell to CSGO kind of intro. I got emotional. I really did. I didn't expect it. But it is crazy to think that over the last 6 years, this game has become my career, which is just, I'm getting a little emotional right now. It's wild, right? Like occasionally I think about what I do, especially in moments where I'm standing there and 15,000 people in an arena are going nuts because I said something. And it doesn't feel like the real world. It doesn't feel like a thing that people do, but it is. And it's crazy that this game has become a home to me and a career and a passion and all of that rolled up into one. Thinking back to Tokyo and Tulsa, Brink's truck backing up right next to the stage while we were casting the final. It's a long way. It's a long way, but it was all part of it. All those NA lands, all those weird hour time delayed, whatever it was, all part of getting here.
And I think it goes without saying that we have a little bit of a throwback to the good old days of DarfMike interview where we're gonna.
You might want to just wait this one out.
He's so right, and that's why he's the best. He's the best who's ever done it.
Yeah.
We'll just.
Cut this or not,
We're not gonna cut it. We're not gonna cut it at all. Actually, I like it. Yeah. DarfMike is for the people. He doesn't need jump cuts.
No, not at all.
All right, so we're so back.
Is that the Doppler effect?
And so, with that in mind, you kind of already gave us that comment for Dusty S from when you were first selected to be part of the desk for IEM Cologne, but I want to ask you more about that. Like when did you hear the news and what was the first thing you did?
Yeah, man. It was like, let's see, I'm trying to get a sense of time right now. It was about a month before the event. This was one of those events where I had a really good first season of the year, right? Doing Katowice, working the RMR, working Dallas, doing the Blast Spring Finals in DC. It was a really good first year. But you, as a freelance talent, you kind of, you can get a lot of positive feedback and you're like, I'm doing a great fucking job. But at the end of the day, if they don't hire you, it doesn't matter. So there's sort of I knew that Cologne was going to be one of those first sort of, it sounds weird to say, but almost a referendum on whether I thought I was where I thought I was. Mm-hmm. And so when I got that message, I made the mistake of checking my phone when I woke up at 5 a.m., doing the quick glance at the phone. And I saw a WhatsApp message from Kinga, who was our talent manager, who said, was saying, have you gotten an email about Cologne yet? I was like, no, I have not. Should I be? And I didn't go back to sleep that day. So I was silently walking about the house, air fist pumping, trying not to wake up my girlfriend. And it was, this is one of the big ones, right? I'd never done a Cologne before. It's the last Cologne in CSGO. I'm not going to have worked a major in CSGO, but this is one of those bucket list events that you just, it's the dream, man. it's part of the life. It's part of the dream. So yeah, that was the process of getting brought on for it, and it's an incredible feeling.
And with that in mind too, it's like it's hard for me to think about too, in the sense that when you first started casting MDL back then, Launders was still a player, Maui Snake was a player still.
Launders a player?
Launders was Launders was back playing with some of those like low level MDL teams. Like Launders was playing, career was wrapping up. Maui Snakes was just made it out of Hawaii to play for Azio Esports.
Yep.
And it's just so weird to think about in that sense. And it kind of makes me think, like, you've been at the highest of highs in CSGO, and now you're going to, after this is done, you're probably going to go back to casting ECL. Is it hard for you to come back down oh, that scares me. That really scares me. The step back, the breathe in.
Yeah, no, I just have to think about how to frame this.
Yeah.
Give me the microphone here.
All right, here you go.
We'll do it. So it's not that it's not that it's hard to come back down to ECL level. Obviously, the thing in ECL is that there is a huge variance in the quality of Counter-Strike. You have teams on the move up who are learning how to play better CS. You have teams at the top end who are threatening for Pro League, right? So there is some very good quality Counter-Strike in ECL. The thing that's hard is going from an environment like this to online. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter the caliber of Counter-Strike. I could be casting G2 versus ENCE in a grand final, but if it was online, it's just not there in terms of energy, right? Like the energy that you take from having 15,000 screaming people in an arena in Cologne is, as a performer, as a broadcaster, it's indescribable. You don't have to generate the energy. You just feed off of it and feed into it, and it's a loop. It's why, when I was saying my goodbyes today, I said they are just as much a part of it as anyone who's here on stage. And it's true, because the crowd is what makes these events so good and gives you that vibe and that energy. And when you're not in the same place as your co-caster, you're not in the same place as your director, you're not in the same place as the players, there's no fans, the online fans aren't there with you. It's a different feeling. I liken it, I don't know if I should use this metaphor. Yeah, sure, whatever, fuck it. So the metaphor I use is online casting is to LAN casting as masturbation is to sex. Because it'll sustain you, it's fine, it'll keep the needs met, but it sure ain't the same level of fulfilling. And then the level between even a studio LAN to now working with audiences, which this year is the first time I've gotten to work with audiences in my 6-year career. I would have had an opportunity right before COVID, except, COVID happened, so there was a little delay in that one. But working with live audiences, working with crowds, working with people where, thousands of people are just there because they're as excited as you are about Counter-Strike, about a game, about a mutual passion. It's incredible. So it's not that I will be upset to go back to ECL teams. I love ECL teams. I love watching NA players rise through the ranks. I love following their careers. I love the fact that, for a lot of these guys, I've known them for the 6 years that I've been in the scene. I've known them since a lot of them were children. And it's just, following their careers, following their development as human beings, not just as players, is, I think, one of the great privileges of being based in North America. But yeah, online sucks compared to LAN. Like no one's gonna pretend otherwise. You know what I mean? What I remind myself of when I'm casting an online game, to bring the same level of excitement and energy and give it my all and give the product that the fans deserve and that the players deserve, is that at the end of the day, it's still better than anything else I'd be doing. It's casting online may not be casting in Cologne, but sure as shit beats flipping burgers. So I'll give you your mic.
And thank you for my mic back. And
just going to diatribe.
Yeah. Little DarfMike rant and the show, to end the day out. As someone who has flipped burgers, plenty of burgers, in fact, I wanted to ask you though. We see a lot of these young ECL players coming up, and they're, they don't get to spend all their time, focusing on the craft of.
Good pause, Jeff.
Some things change, but they'll always stay the same. You know how it goes. And they're not able to spend their full time on their players' craft, on their media craft, all of that. But what's one thing that if you could just tell them to stop it, what's the one thing they do either in game or elsewhere that just drives you mental with NA players? Here, you have the mic.
That drives me mental with NA players. Show up to your fucking matches on time. And by on time, I mean be in the server 15 minutes before, so that when you hate the server and you want to get the server change, you can get the server change and we don't delay the game. All right, there's my rant. But I mean, genuinely, speaking about opportunity in terms of, it's always going to be one of the issues with our scene, right? At least unless we get a sudden influx of money that I'm not necessarily expecting. it's frankly just one of the big differences between Europe and North America is that there are a lot of teams in Europe that they may not have great salaries, but they have salaries, even if they have no expectation of attending an event like this or attending a pro league or any of that, because there's enough online games and local lands and things like that to sustain a lot of these teams and to make it economically viable. And there's also much more availability from, in particular, betting money, because it's more widely accepted in Europe. And that's something that we don't have to the same degree in North America. So players don't have the same opportunity to devote time to their craft, to, fixate fully. But I will say that is also definitely the number one excuse that NA players use. Because, look, when I started this, I wasn't full-time. I wasn't full-time for a long time. I worked a full-time job, and then I came home and I cast. And I cast games. And I recognize that as a player, there are different demands in terms of practice, in terms of demo watching, if you really want to elevate your craft, in terms of individual practice as well. But at the end of the day, your opportunity is going to be what it's going to be. And if you focus on professionalism and focus on not even just putting in insane amounts of time, but using your time wisely. Look, man, there are people coming into this game from all over the place. As we see in that grand final, how many nationalities are represented on that stage between ENCE and G2? We've got, oh God, I'm going to have to try and count right now. I think it's 9. I think it's 9, if we're not counting their coaches. If we're doing coaches, it might be more. No, wait, there's 2 Danes. Shit, it's 8. But it's a lot. It's a lot of nationalities on that stage. There's a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds who take a lot of different paths to competing in this game. So, yeah, I'm not going to say any players are, lazy or any of that. I don't believe that. I just believe that there are times where energy is maybe misdirected. And part of that is, again, not being able to commit the same amount of time. Hopefully with CS2, more investment comes into the scene. We've seen it already with M80 coming in. That's hugely encouraging because a guy like Swisher embodies, to me, approaching the game the right way in North America, right? A guy like Swisher, he wants to win tournaments. He wants to be good. He wants to be great. He wants his team to be that way. He builds his stream. He builds his personal brand. He focuses on individual form, things like that. So the fact that he now has a home with an org that can give them support, that to me is a very positive sign for the scene because, he was out in the woods for a long time on less than stable situations. So I feel like I've ranted a lot here. I do want to clarify to NA players, I'm very tired. So I didn't mean to offend you if I did. We're just a little wobbly right now.
Okay, but see, also NA fans, a counterpoint is you don't want to hear me talk, you want to hear him talk, so we're really getting the optimal amount of content that we need to get. And, it's like that too, in the sense that, our bodies are here in the Cathedral Counter-Strike, but our hearts are at home on Face It Now, on ESCA, ready for the next season of ESL Challenger League, and
bro, I'm here body and soul right now. This is a transformative experience.
But your heart, Darf, the heart, the heart.
Here too. I'm all in.
But he loves you. But he still loves you though. Dad. Listen, Dad leaves now to go internationally, but he still loves you. Okay.
I'll bring the milk home soon.
He'll bring the milk home soon. So, but with that in mind, I want to ask you though, how are you feeling about the season of ECL? We've had some real watershed changes. We've had all the Brazilian teams leave for the first time, I think, in 20 plus seasons. We had every single team move up from relegation. There's a lot going on. It's a new.
I'm going to cut you off right there. I ain't thinking about ECL right now, brother. I'll think about it when I come to it. I don't have thoughts right now.
I'm not going
to pretend to have thought of this and have.
I've
been a little busy.
This is not your MDL power hour, that's for sure.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no. Okay, so last question for you, big man.
How long have we done this already?
14.
14 or 40?
14.
We can keep going here. Then.
There you go. So last question for you, big man. So
you can keep going.
No, okay. I got you. Just stick away from the ECL questions, right?
Right now.
Yeah.
I can look at who's actually.
So So you've been doing a lot of fun, side content. Whether it's with Mr. Travis, whether it's with some variety of colorful names in the arena. What's the key to good sidebar content in the arena?
I mean, look, this is the second time I've ever done this job, so I'm not going to pretend to be, the be-all and end-all of expertise. But I think what I try and bring into the arena, and I think I've done a good job of it, and I think people really resonate with it, is excitement and passion and the joy of what we're doing, the experience we're part of, the game. I mean, I fucking love Counter-Strike, right? And everyone who's here, for the most part, is here because they fucking love Counter-Strike too. And if you show people that, if you wear your heart on your sleeve with that, then I think people will respond. And 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 I people identify with it, and people are excited to tell you their stories. And you know, I'm not trying to force anyone on camera who doesn't want to be. There's plenty of people who I ask and they say, I'm shy, I have social anxiety, I have whatever. You know, they don't want to be on camera, which is completely reasonable. What I do is insane in a lot of ways. But when you find someone who just wants to tell you their story, or just wants to make a joke, or be part of the show, or be part of the broadcast, to me, that's it's about the shared passion. It's about the excitement. It's about that sort of vibration being met. And yeah, so I'd say if you want to do this, you got to be a little nuts. You got to have no sense of shame, and just be really excited about whatever the hell you're doing, which is just good advice for life. If you're really excited about whatever the hell you're doing, it's usually a good idea.
And, you know, so we're here, it's a nice 11:30 p.m., you know, Central European time, or, you know. So I'm going to put you on the spot for your last question, Mr. DarfMike.
All right.
So one thing, part one, it's a two-parter, all right?
All right.
So
it's 2 questions.
It's 2 questions.
Last question.
So G2 versus Mnmzzz tomorrow. Who's taking it, and can we expect a great show tomorrow? Yeah, and you can have the mic back, too. I know you like it.
I'll just take it. I mean, yes, it's going to be a great show, first of all. I mean, if you haven't seen the openers that we've been doing, I get goosebumps every time. The arena is incredible. They're only going to be better tomorrow in terms of energy. Today was amazing. I think, and that matchup's going to be cool. I'm kind of on the Mnmzzz camp, man.
Hell yeah.
It's not like this is genuinely some favoritism at this point. You know both teams well enough that there's. I was telling someone in the arena, like, they were asking me my favorite in a matchup, and I was like, you have to understand, right? Like, once you're part of the scene, once you know people, for most teams, there's a reason to be happy and there's a reason to be sad for every potential winner and loser. But I'm really believing the hype for Mnmzzz, right? They won in Dallas. They're playing really consistently compared to a G2 who obviously have, like, if G2 is on their A game, they should win. But their consistency isn't where Mnmzzz is. And Mnmzzz is looking like killers, man. Sampaio, the fact that he elevates his game on a stage like the Lanxess is incredible. He did it last year. He's doing it again this year. I mean, they are, I think... Are they the favorite? I think they're the favorite, man. They're my favorite. I think they're gonna win it, man. I think they'll lift the Cologne trophy, and then we're gonna have to talk about Mnmzzz as a firmly top team in the world.
And, you know, truer words, or maybe not so true words, have never been said to such before, but I want to explain something to you. Okay. So you know how Mnmzzz won in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
So theoretically, Dallas is a city in Texas.
They're a North American team.
And so they're a North American team. So guess what, guys? A North American team's winning tomorrow. There can't be anyone better to, you know, bring the action tomorrow. So thank you so much for your time, DarfMike, and we'll see you in the Cathedral Counter-Strike tomorrow. Boom. Fist pump.
Hell yeah.